It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Citi Prime News. The news is live from our studio at Adabraka here in Accra. I am Charles Osukumi. Coming up, government fulfills campaign promise as it launches 24-hour economy policy to drive economic transformation, enhance productivity and tackle unemployment.
It is my honor and privilege to declare the 24-hour economy agenda and accelerated export development program officially launched.
Also coming up, parts of Accra face water interruption as Ghana Water Limited shuts down Wager plant for emergency repairs.
They are working on the valve so that there will not be any obstruction to cause the overflow at the treatment plant. So the estimation is that by close of day today, we should have completed the work.
Still ahead, inflation reduces to 13% from 18.4% as government targets single digit in 2026. And later on the Citi Prime News, 30 new cases of Mpox recorded in the country, bringing total cases recorded to 163. The news is live across a number of our partner stations, including Beach 105.5 FM and Sky 93.5 FM, both in Takrady. In the Bono region, we're on Greener 95.9 FM in Sunyani. In the Ashanti region, we're on Focus 94.3 FM in Kumasi and Orange 107.9 FM also in Kumasi. In the Volta region, we're on Revival 99.3 FM in Tajawu, VOV Radio 95.7 in Hohoi. We're also live on YouTube on Citi FM YouTube page as well as our Facebook and Twitter handles.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful to you for your time. Let's settle for the details of our stories. And we begin with news on the economy because government has officially launched its flagship 24-hour economy and accelerated export program with a call for full participation for the private sector and labor unions. At the launch, President John Dramani Mahama clarified that the initiative is not just about longer working hours but aims to transform the economy by boosting productivity, creating jobs and reducing import dependence. The president says government funding will only serve as seed capital to attract private investment and drive innovation across key sectors.
The finance and implementation institutional frameworks for 24-hour plus. The private sector will lead the 24-hour plus program. Government will facilitate and not dominate. Any government funding in 24-hour plus will be catalytic, serving as seed funding for the 24-hour plus authority and supporting bulk infrastructure. Enterprise financing will be sourced through commercial banks, DFIs, and blended finance instruments. Fund 24 will address access to capital, collateral constraints, and the short-term nature of most of our banking finance. Credit guarantee schemes will support risk sharing without breaching our fiscal covenants with our multilateral institutions. And as announced, the Secretariat will evolve into an autonomous 24-hour plus authority that reports directly to the President. This is going to be a bold visual expression of our ambition to build a resilient, self-reliant, and a productive Ghana. And so, with this unveiling, it is my honor and privilege to declare the 24-hour economy agenda and accelerated export development program officially launched.
Now, the president, while acknowledging the challenges that may arise with the policy, also expressed confidence in the success of the program.
And Go 24 is about mobilizing all sectors, religious, security, academic, and civic, for national productivity and pride. This structure ensures depth and focus. We're not attempting to fix everything everywhere all at once. We're targeting high-impact, job-rich, and export-oriented sectors with strong forward and backward linkages. We're under no illusions. The path is going to be challenging, but we will succeed. The path will be challenging, but we will succeed. And we will succeed with discipline, coordination, and shared purpose.
You heard there President John Dramani Mahama. Meanwhile, Presidential Advisor on the 24-hour economy policy, Guzi Tano, has called on the Minister for Finance to take direct oversight of incentive structures tied to the policy and to ensure transparency in its implementation.
We have worked closely with the Minister of Agribusiness, Trade and Industry, Madam, to ensure that our respective textiles and garments programs complement rather than compete with each other. This effort culminated in an industry roundtable on June 9th, where stakeholders discussed the direction of textiles and garments policy and identified locations for future textiles and garment parks. The parks will not only be in Accra or in Tema, they'll be distributed across the country so we can industrialize every aspect of the country where it's required and deemed bankable. Similarly, we are in the process of structuring and negotiating the concession regimes for the Volta Lake Economic Corridor with Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund, VRA, and the Ministry for Energy and the Green Transition. Secondly, we have presented our 24-hour plus incentives package along with its impact assessment report to the Ministry of Finance for final review and adoption. Our proposals to the Minister of Finance Minister aim to simplify incentives and eliminate unnecessary bureaucratic discretion.
You heard there the Presidential Advisor on the 24-hour economy policy, Guzi Tano. Now, still on the economy, Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyakwampim has rejected claims by the minority that government is concealing the purpose of a new $360 million World Bank facility. He clarifies that the funds will be used to settle arrears, including payments to road contractors. Speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, Thomas Nyakwampim called the minority's accusations misguided, insisting government has been transparent about the purpose of the loan.
During the consideration of the referral, the committee noted that the full amount of $350 million from DPO2 will be used to finance part of the amount owed to contractors. This was explicitly stated in the report. So I was so shocked listening to my friend Opon Kroma reading around and suggesting that we communicating to Parliament is suggesting that the amount, the utilization will be varied from the decision of Cabinet. That is not true. And if you have a copy of the report, look at it. It stated in the report that the full amount will be used to pay part of the amount owed to contractors. So all that he's dancing around saying were palpable and truth.
You heard Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyakwampim. However, in a rebuttal, Ranking Member on Parliament's Economy and Development Committee and Member of Parliament for Fuasa Yerebi Kojo Ponkroma insists that government presented vague justifications, unlike previous administrations that clearly outlined specific projects tied to such facilities.
They made a proposal that we should bring a new letter, and we take our date to be on the 12th of July, Saturday, instead of Monday.
Deputy Minister of Finance explained that the facility is part of general budget support and will be applied to finance critical aspects of the 2025 budget. They were still going on being vague. And then they now followed with this long list of the general provisions. It is then that we drew the attention to the fact that you went to your own cabinet. Yes, it was President Mahama who said that for this specific tranche, he wanted to use it to pay contractors. You went to get approval. So don't come to Parliament and instead of being specific, in the past, Bernard, sometimes you even see specific road projects listed for the utilization of funds. In this case, they chose to be hazy about it and not be specific about it.
That was the ranking member on the Economy and Development Committee of Parliament, Kojo Oponkroma. Now on to some politics. Spokesperson for Kennedy Japan, Kwesi Kwarteng, has disputed the findings of a global info analytics poll that places former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ahead of Kennedy Japan in the New Patriotic Party's flag-bearer race. He argues that the poll sampled views from social media users and the general public rather than the party's electoral college, which decides the outcome of the primaries. Speaking to Citi News, Kwesi Kwarteng says internal research by the Kennedy Japan camp shows their candidate is in a commanding lead, contrary to the projections of the poll.
We also have our internal research models that we use, and from our internal research models, we believe that we are very aware and also very confident that Japan is in a very commanding lead and is a very safe situation when even you have to vote today. But of course, if you also recall, there's also another leg of the research posted by Mr. Musa Dankwa with his Global Info Analytics, where he also indicated that even if we are to vote today for another general elections, former candidate Dr. Bawumia is going to rather reduce your vote to about 24%. And that, for me, again reflects the general sentiment of Ghanaians, because clearly he indicated that those samples that he used were also the general populace. So, I mean, for the general populace, clearly they vote within the general election. But in terms of internal primaries, that is only restricted to a specific electoral college.
Kwesi Kwarteng speaks for the Kennedy Ohene Ejapon campaign team. Now, the Ghana Water Limited in the Accra West region has announced a temporary disruption in water supply today following an emergency shutdown of the Weja treatment plant. According to the company, the shutdown is to allow engineers carry out urgent repair works on major pipelines supplying water to affected areas. The affected areas include Kolebu, Dansuman, Mamprobi, Weja, Gbawe, Malam, Anya, Kwashiman, Ablekuma, Dakuman, and Kaneshi. The other areas include Tesano, Odoko, Sotuum, La Paz, parts of Achimota, the North Industrial Area, and nearby communities. Communications Manager of Ghana Water Limited in the Accra West region, Sole Zankuma, says their engineering teams are working to complete the repairs on schedule and restore normal supply as soon as possible.
So what is happening is that at the water treatment plant, we release water. The treated water is released for customer consumption through gravity. We don't use pumps to pump water for consumption from Weja. Water is released by gravity. And if there's any obstruction or any hindrance in the system, it means that something is not working well somewhere. So you are releasing water. The water is supposed to go freely. But then you release the water and then you see that there's an overflow. So that's what currently is happening. And because of that, there's the need for some valves worked on the line, the main line bringing water to the western part of Accra. So that is what our engineers are currently doing. They are working on the valves so that there will not be any obstruction to cause the overflow at the treatment plant.
How long will those repair works last?
So the estimation is that by close of day today, we should have completed the work.
Sole Zankuma is the communications manager of the Ghana Water Limited in the Accra West region. From water supply to electricity supply, because residents of Obuasi and surrounding communities are raising concerns over persistent power outages weeks after a fire at Great Coast substation in the area led to a transformer explosion. The May incident destroyed one of two transformers at the substation. Although the second transformer has since been repaired and restored, it is only supplying limited power to the affected areas. Now, residents say the ongoing outages are disrupting daily life and impacting local businesses. Speaking to Citi News, the public relations officer for the Electricity Company of Ghana and the Ashanti West region, Benjamin Obenentry, said GridCo engineers are working around the clock to fully restore power.
So we want to apologize to our cherished customers within the enclave, and then once GridCo have assured us that they will complete the ongoing repair works and then the efforts to replace the damaged transformer by the end of this week, we want to assure our customers that once GridCo restores power supply to the second transformer, we'll evacuate power from the GridCo end of the box supply point and then we'll distribute to our cherished customers. we want to further appeal to our cherished customers to continue to exercise patience with the we understand these are trying times and we understand what they are going through. The situation is very unbearable, but they will want to appeal to them that they should continue to support us as they've been doing since this incident occurred, and we want to assure them that very soon we'll be out of the woods and then the problem will be rectified and then customers will be in Obasa Enclave who will enjoy stable power supply.
That was the Public Relations Officer for the Electricity Company of Ghana in the Ashanti West region, Benjamin Obing Entry. You're still listening to the Citi Prime News live from our studios here in Adabraka in Accra. We're also live on some partner stations in the northern region, Radio Bimbila 91.9 FM. In the Upper East region, we're on Quality 88.7 FM in Garu, and in the Upper West region, we're on Tunsong 97.3 FM in Wa. Still ahead. Inflation reduces to 13% from 18.4% as government targets single digit in 2026.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Are you searching for a world-class conference and facility to elevate your next event? Do you need a bougie look for that all-important corporate, board meeting, or private social event? The Alisa Pavilion has an unmatched capacity. Our expansive conference center comfortably seats 1,000 persons in a theater-style setup. This makes it ideal for large conferences, product launches, weddings, social events, and exhibitions. There are 2 executive boardrooms set up for your high-profile meetings. With the importance of seamless technology integration, our facilities are equipped to support your audiovisual needs. Looking for an oasis of bliss? Saunter into our Oasis Lounge and Bistro on Thursdays for Thirsty Thursday, while you enjoy a whopping 15% discount. Make a date for Saturday Barbecue, where we have alfresco dining for nature lovers in our lush manicured lawns, while you savor lip-smacking dishes. The Alisa Hotel Pavilion, where great minds convene and beautiful memories are created. Alisa Hotels, our Aquaba means more than just welcome.
When the stars come out, Ghana Weekend turns up the lights. From the hottest red carpet moments to the wildest after parties. And for all your celebrations, anniversaries, and unforgettable moments, if it's happening, we're there. First, fast, and fabulously. Your front row pass to Ghana's A-list lifestyle is just a click or a channel away. GhanaWeekend.com and Ghana Weekend TV, where fame meets the fans. Promote your next big event with us, because when you party with the stars, the whole nation of black stars should know. Visit GhanaWeekend.com, watch and subscribe to Ghana Weekend TV on YouTube. Stay connected with us across all platforms. Follow us on Instagram with the handle at GhanaWeekend.com, on X at Ghana Weekend, on TikTok, Ghana Weekend, and on Facebook at Ghana Weekend. Join the Ghana Weekend family today. Ghana Weekend, all access, all glam, all yours.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Welcome back. This is the Citi Prime News here on Citi 97.3 FM. Now, inflation for June 2025 has dropped sharply to 13.7%, the lowest level since December 2021. Now, this marks the 6th consecutive month of decline, driven largely by easing food prices and a slowdown in price increases across key consumer categories. Latest data from the Ghana Statistical Service shows that the trend signals a sustained reduction in inflationary pressures that have weighed on the economy in recent months. Food inflation saw the most significant drop, falling to 16.3% from 22.8% in May. Non-food inflation also eased to 11.4% from 14% 0.4%. Government statistician Dr. Idrisu Al-Hassan is urging policymakers to use more localized and granular data to address these regional gaps and sustain the national disinflationary momentum as the government remains hopeful of reaching single-digit inflation by early 2026. Away from that, concerned residents along the Pokwase of Ankor Road project, known as Insawam Traffic Watchers, have served notice of embarking on a demonstration on July 12 to demand the speedy completion of the project. Now, progress on the road construction has stalled since October last year, with contractors demanding an extension of the completion deadline due to non-payment. The Ministry of Roads and Highways has also blamed the pace of work on lawsuits from some residents. But speaking on the Citi Breakfast Show, the Nsawam Traffic Watchers, made up of 1,700 residents, say they are not convinced by the justifications given for the status of the road project, hence their decision to protest. Kusefriye speaks for the group.
Most people migrated to such places from Accra. Their works are here. And as for the school children, indeed, they are suffering. As you are driving to work in the morning, you could see them standing by the roadside, struggling to get cars to get. Most of them, they school at Fise. It is bad.
But for now, you're saying that July 12th, you are sending a letter to the police, and you are expecting at least 1,700 people to join.
Apart from the members, the members on the WhatsApp group, we've also engaged the GPRTU and the concerned drivers in Sawam station and that of Amasaman as well. So our number will go beyond the 1,700. That's our estimation.
So are you planning to just do a peaceful protest, or are you looking to block the road or something?
We are law-abiding citizens. We are not going to block the road, but we are going to protest peacefully.
By the way, when you do the protest, who would you present your petition to?
We want to do that to the MP for Amasaman.
Kusefriye, a spokesperson for the concerned residents along the Pokwase of Ankor Road project, known as Insawam Traffic Watchers. In some more news, the National Sports Authority says steps are being taken to improve sports infrastructure across the country. Director General Yampo Fankra stated on Channel 1 TV's Breakfast Daily that the authority has retrieved vital documents on stored projects, including the delayed Ho Sports Stadium. He says the current administration is committed to reversing the poor state of Ghana's sports facilities.
A significant number of, properties under the National Sports Authority actually remain either undocumented, under dispute, and we need to ascertain that. With Ho, what I can tell you is that we need to do a lot of work, but we also need to find out what works were rewarded or awarded as contracts in the past, and then we can say, okay, so-and-so was given this contract, this is what he did or did not do, and we also need to address that so that in going forward, whoever is given that task to put the place in shape will not also come back and abandon work halfway through. So it's a whole conversation. It's bigger and deeper than just maybe the physical structures not looking good, the pitch looking terrible. It goes far beyond that, and it's about policies changing, making sure that if we're giving work to individuals or companies to do, they must be accountable and find out what those monies were made, were used for.
You heard the Director General of the National Sports Authority, Yampo Frankra. Meanwhile, a member of the Volta Regional Football Association's Disciplinary Committee, Foster said, has expressed frustration over the repeated promises by successive governments to complete the whole sports stadium, describing them as unfulfilled and disappointing.
In fact, successive governments have made promises towards that, but all of them have failed. I only swear, successive government in, government out. There was a time we had Honorable Nilante Vanderpool, who was a sports minister, came to home. We interviewed him. Then he said that when you get to Accra, whole sports stadium will be grounded to zero, and then they will start all the work afresh again. Till now, before NDC exited power. Again, the only time there was something called innovation was when they brought blood-stained seats to come and fix at home. The main knife disaster at Accra Sports Stadium, those were the seats they brought to fix at home for us during the President J's fourth time. And in the last 8 years, I can bet you, my dear brother, the regional minister, Dr. Yao Atibaleta, then never visited the stadium.
That was a member of the Volta Regional Football Association's Disciplinary Committee. Foster Osei. This is still the City Prime News on 97.3 City FM. Now we know that the people of Ablekuma North do not have a representation in Parliament as of yet because the Electoral Commission has been unable to conclude the election from the 2024 polls. Now, news just coming in is that the Commission has decided to rerun the election in some of the polling stations. My senior colleague, Fred Jabano, has just joined me in studio to help us understand what the Electoral Commission is saying. Fred, what is the Commission telling us?
So, Charles, the Commission has decided to run elections in 19 polling stations within the constituency. You recall that after the election in 2024, there's been concerns with collation with regards to the Ablekuma North constituency. Whilst the NDC is challenging about 37 results from these 37 polling stations, the NPP says that there are only 3 polling stations which were left to be collated to get the final results. According to the EC, they have been meeting with the 2 parties, and after the meeting with the 2 parties, they have come to the conclusion that they are going to run elections in 19 of these 19 polling stations within the constituency. The reason for this is that the results which were gotten from the 2024 elections in December, the results were scanned. There were scanned sheets from these polling stations, and even though they had been signed, the presiding officers or the polling officers within these polling stations have not been able to verify the results. Hence, they are going to rerun these elections in 19 polling stations within the constituency. The Electoral Commission has set the 19th of July.
Okay.
To run this particular elections. The 11th of July, Friday, 11th of July, to run this particular election. It's been a back and forth since December 7th. It's been to court. It's been back from court. There's been concerns about police and security. The Electoral Commission has finally decided to rerun 19 polling stations, and they actually are also urging on the police service to provide security on the 11th of July to ensure that there's a peaceful elections within this particular constituency.
Well, we've been covering this matter quite well. I've been to the recollation centers a few times.
You were there the whole time.
Yes, and the NPP brought in some scanned copies of the
results from the polling stations.
The NDC disputed them,
Yes.
but the Electoral Commission admitted them at the time.
Yes.
So I'm sure within the discussions that have ensued since then, they've all come to an agreement that, well, let's not even use these scanned copies any longer because we have not been able to settle on the results.
Yes,
so let's go ahead and rerun them,
which
is
exactly
win-win for everybody.
That's a win-win for everybody. Each party contested the number of results which needed to be collated. As I said earlier, the NPP raised concerns with 3 and said we're just left with 3 polling stations to be collated for a final declaration to be made. The NDC had concerns with 37.
Okay.
Out of these 3 and 37, the EC had a look at all the things. The scanned results sheets were brought and everything. The EC, in conjunction with the political parties, had a conversation, and they have agreed to run in 19 constituencies and 19 polling stations. So yes, this back and forth as to which scan sheets could be used, which scan sheets could not be used. You recall that the Deputy Electoral Commission chairperson went to the Parliament to brief the members of the House on that particular elections and raised concerns that they were going to continue with the scan sheets and going to continue with the processes, invite the officers, polling officers, and the presiding officer in that particular constituency to carry on their job. That has been done, and they realized that per the statement from the Electoral Commission, the officers in charge of the polling stations, 19 polling stations, could not verify the results of the scanned sheets.
Okay.
Therefore, they are going to hold a new election in these 19 polling stations.
All right, grateful to you. Fred Jabano is my senior colleague in the City Newsroom. The news from the Electoral Commission is that they are going to rerun 19 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency on 11th of July, and hopefully they can bring finality to their election, which occurred on December 2024. In some other news, the Ghana Health Service has reported 30 new confirmed cases of Mpox in the country, bringing the total number of confirmed infections to 163. According to the latest update released by the Health Service, there have been no deaths recorded. The health service is, however, urging the public to adhere strictly to the safety protocols. And that'll be all for this edition of the Citi Prime News on Citi 97.3, which came to you from our studios here in Adabraka. I'm Charles Osukumi. Thank you for listening.
Citi News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.